The Galactic Empire had long been known as the strongest power in the galaxy. They ruled over countless planets and looked down on lesser species. Humans were at the bottom of their list. The Empire thought humans were weak, easy to control, and unworthy of respect. They were wrong. On a quiet planet called New Terra, a small human outpost stood against the vastness of space. The humans there lived simple lives, farming the land and raising families. They knew the Empire was powerful, but they also believed in their strength and resilience. The outpost was home to brave men and women who were ready to defend their home. One day, everything changed. The Empire's massive warships appeared in the sky, blocking out the sun. A sense of fear swept through the outpost as alarms blared. Soldiers rushed to their posts, grabbing weapons and preparing for an attack. The Empire was here, and they were not coming to be friendly. They were here to take control. The Empire's leader, Commander Thrax, stood on the bridge of his flagship. He looked down at the small human base through the viewing screen, a cruel smile on his face. "They think they can resist us," he said, his voice cold. "We will crush them and show the galaxy who truly rules." The ships opened fire. Bright blasts lit up the sky as the first explosions rocked the outpost. Humans scrambled for cover, shouting orders and trying to organize a defense. Many were terrified, but others were determined to fight. They had to protect their home. Captain Sarah Mitchell, the leader of the outpost, stood tall despite the chaos around her. Her heart raced, but she kept her voice steady. "We can't let them take our home!" she shouted to her team. "We fight back! Prepare the defenses and get everyone to safety." Her words sparked courage in her fellow soldiers. They moved quickly, setting up barriers and gathering weapons. They knew the Empire was strong, but they also knew they were fighting for their families, their friends, and their lives. As the first wave of Empire soldiers landed on the ground, the humans were ready to defend what was theirs. The Empire soldiers stepped onto the planet, confident in their numbers and technology. They expected an easy victory. However, as they advanced, they were met with a fierce counterattack. Humans fought back with all their strength, using the land to their advantage. They knew the terrain well and set traps to slow down the enemy. A group of Empire soldiers entered a narrow path, only to trigger hidden explosives. The ground shook as blasts erupted, throwing them into disarray. The humans cheered as they saw the enemy falter. "Keep fighting!" Sarah yelled, urging her team to push forward. The battle raged on, and the humans fought with everything they had. They used their knowledge of the land to outsmart the Empire, striking from the shadows and launching surprise attacks. The Empire was not prepared for such fierce resistance. Commander Thrax watched in disbelief as his soldiers struggled to maintain control. As night fell, the fighting continued under the stars. The sounds of explosions and gunfire echoed through the air. Humans were tired but filled with determination. They had been underestimated, and now they were proving their strength. In a desperate attempt to regain control, Thrax ordered more reinforcements to land. "We will not be defeated by these weaklings," he shouted, his anger boiling over. But as more Empire soldiers arrived, they found the human defenders even more resilient. Each wave of attack only made the humans fight harder. As the battle continued into the early hours of the morning, the outpost stood firm against the Empire's might. Humans were fighting not just for survival, but to show the galaxy that they were not the weak species the Empire thought they were. The Empire had provoked the wrong species, and the humans were ready to show them just how wrong they were. The battle for New Terra raged on, and the humans fought with all their might. But as the hours passed, it became clear that they needed more help. They were brave, but the Empire was powerful. Captain Sarah Mitchell stood on a hill overlooking the chaos. She could see her fellow soldiers getting tired, and she felt the weight of responsibility heavy on her shoulders. "We need to call for help," Sarah said, turning to her second-in-command, Lieutenant Mark Reynolds. "There must be others out there who can assist us." Mark nodded, his expression serious. They both knew what this meant. In the heart of New Terra, hidden deep within the mountains, lay a secret facility. This place held humanity's greatest secret, a group of super soldiers frozen in cryo-sleep. They were the last hope for the human race, trained to protect Earth and fight back against any threat. Sarah and Mark rushed to the facility, determined to awaken these soldiers. As they entered the facility, they were met with rows of cryo chambers, each filled with a powerful soldier from a time long past. These were humans enhanced with advanced technology and skills, designed to be the ultimate warriors. Sarah approached the first chamber and placed her hand on the cold glass. "Wake up," she whispered, hoping her voice would reach them. The chamber's lights flickered on, and alarms began to sound. A mechanical voice echoed through the room, announcing the awakening sequence. The cryo chambers hummed to life, and the soldiers inside began to stir. Their eyes opened slowly, revealing strength and determination. "Welcome back," Sarah said, her heart racing with hope. "We need your help. The Galactic Empire has attacked our home, and we are fighting for our survival." The soldiers listened intently, absorbing the situation. One soldier stepped forward, his presence commanding respect. He was Captain Alex Kane, the leader of the super soldiers. "What is the situation?" Alex asked, his voice deep and steady. Sarah quickly explained the battle and the desperate need for their skills. "We will fight," he said, a fierce light igniting in his eyes. "We are not just soldiers, we are humanity's last line of defense. Let's show the Empire they have made a terrible mistake." As the super soldiers prepared for battle, the mood shifted in the facility. They were ready, and their excitement was contagious. Each soldier trained for years and possessed skills beyond normal humans. They could strategize, fight, and adapt to any situation. Back at the outpost, the humans continued to hold their ground. But with every passing moment, the Empire pushed harder. Commander Thrax was growing impatient. "These humans cannot resist us forever," he growled, watching his troops struggle. "Bring in the heavy artillery." Suddenly, the ground shook as giant war machines rolled toward the outpost, their massive guns pointed at the defenders. Sarah and her soldiers prepared for the worst. Just as the Empire was about to unleash chaos, a loud sound echoed through the sky. A group of super soldiers flew in on advanced aircraft, swooping down like birds of prey. The sight filled the humans with hope. "Look, they've come to help," shouted Mark, pointing at the sky. The Empire soldiers were caught off guard as the super soldiers descended with precision, landing behind enemy lines. Captain Alex Kane led the charge. "For New Terra!" he shouted, raising his weapon high. The super soldiers moved with unmatched speed and coordination, flanking the Empire troops and creating chaos. The humans cheered, feeling a renewed sense of strength as they saw their reinforcements in action. The Empire soldiers turned in panic as they realized they were now surrounded. Bright beams of energy lit up the battlefield as the super soldiers fought with skill and determination. They utilized tactics that made them appear almost superhuman, dodging blasts and countering attacks with ease. As the battle unfolded, Sarah felt a surge of hope. The tide was turning, and the Empire began to realize they had underestimated humanity once again. The humans and super soldiers fought side by side, each victory boosting their morale. The Empire was no longer the unstoppable force they had once seemed. With renewed energy and strength, the humans and their super soldiers pushed forward, determined to reclaim their home and prove that they were not the weak species the Empire thought they were. The awakening of the super soldiers marked a turning point, and the battle was only just beginning. The battle for New Terra had reached a critical point. With the awakening of the super soldiers, the humans felt a surge of hope and courage. Captain Sarah Mitchell watched as Captain Alex Kane and his team executed flawless strategies, pushing back against the Galactic Empire. The Empire had thought they could crush the humans easily, but now they faced fierce resistance. As the sun rose, casting a golden light over the battlefield, the sounds of gunfire and explosions filled the air. Sarah gathered her team and the super soldiers to discuss their plan. "We need to strike hard and fast," she said, her voice strong. "If we can disrupt their command, we can turn the tide of this battle." Alex nodded in agreement. "We should focus on their supply lines first. If we cut off their resources, they will be weak. Then we can hit them where it hurts." The humans quickly formed small teams, each super soldier paired with a group of regular soldiers, combining their strengths. Sarah felt a renewed sense of confidence as she saw the determination in their eyes. "Let's show them what we can do," she shouted. The teams moved out, their hearts beating as one. They maneuvered through the rocky terrain, keeping low to avoid detection. The Empire's soldiers were busy trying to regroup after the chaotic counterattack, unaware of the storm that was about to hit them. As they approached the first supply depot, Alex signaled for silence. The humans and super soldiers spread out, taking their positions. Sarah's team held their breath, ready to act. With a sudden shout, Alex charged forward and the others followed closely behind. The Empire soldiers at the depot were taken by surprise. "They're here!" one of them yelled, but it was too late. The humans attacked with a fierce battle cry, pushing the Empire soldiers back. The super soldiers moved like shadows, taking down enemies with swift precision. Each blow landed with a purpose, and the Empire's defenses began to crumble. As Sarah fought alongside her team, she felt the adrenaline coursing through her veins. They were winning! But just as they thought they had the upper hand, a loud explosion rocked the area. An Empire tank had arrived, its heavy cannon aimed directly at them. "Fall back!" Sarah shouted, but it was too late. The tank fired, sending a shockwave through the air. Dust and debris flew everywhere. Several humans were knocked off their feet, but the super soldiers quickly regained their composure. Alex called out, "We need to take that tank down!" The team quickly devised a plan. Two super soldiers distracted the tank, drawing its fire while the others positioned themselves behind it. With expert teamwork, they worked together to set explosives on its vulnerable parts. Just as the tank turned to face them, the explosives detonated, sending pieces flying. The tank erupted into flames, and the soldiers cheered. With the supply depot taken, the humans felt invigorated. They pushed further into the Empire's territory, targeting another key position. Each success fueled their determination. They were no longer fighting for survival, they were fighting for their freedom and their planet. As they advanced, the Empire realized they were losing control. Commander Thrax watched from his flagship, anger boiling inside him. "These humans are more than we expected," he growled. "We need to crush them quickly." In the sky above, Empire reinforcements were deployed. Massive ships arrived, ready to unleash more firepower. Thrax ordered a counterattack, but the humans were prepared. Sarah had anticipated this move. "Prepare the anti-air weapons," she ordered. The super soldiers quickly set up the new equipment, aiming at the incoming ships. As the Empire's fighters swooped down, they fired their weapons. The humans took a deep breath and opened fire. Explosions lit up the sky as enemy ships fell from the air, one after another. The battlefield turned chaotic as the humans fought back against the Empire's reinforcements. They were no longer the weak species the Empire thought they could easily conquer. The humans, alongside their super soldiers, unleashed a ferocity that surprised everyone. In the heat of battle, Sarah noticed a small group of Empire soldiers trying to flank them. She quickly gathered a few brave fighters and charged toward the enemy. "We can't let them surround us!" she yelled. The fight was intense, with both sides taking heavy losses. But Sarah and her team fought with determination, knowing that their survival depended on their courage. The Empire was relentless, but the humans were more than just warriors. They were defenders of their home. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and red, the tide of battle turned in favor of the humans. They pushed the Empire back, reclaiming their territory with every victory. They were fighting not just for New Terra, but for every human who had ever been underestimated. They were proving that they had awakened a strength the Empire never expected. The battle was far from over, but the fight back had begun. The battle for New Terra had reached a critical moment. The humans, with their super soldiers at their side, had pushed the Empire back, but at a great cost. Now they faced the biggest challenge yet. Commander Thrax, furious and determined, called for reinforcements. He would not let the humans win. As the sun began to set, casting a red glow over the battlefield, Sarah Mitchell gathered her team for one final stand. The air was thick with tension, and the sounds of distant explosions echoed in the background. "This is it," she said, her voice steady. "We have to hold our ground. If we can push them back one more time, we can win this war." Captain Alex Kane stood beside her, looking out at the horizon. "The Empire will come at us with everything they have," he warned. "We need to be ready for anything." The remaining soldiers prepared themselves. They set up barricades and placed explosives in key locations. Everyone knew this would be the most dangerous part of the fight. As they waited, the fear was palpable, but so was their resolve. They were fighting for their home, their families, and their future. The first wave of Empire soldiers charged forward, their heavy boots pounding against the ground. Sarah and her team opened fire, the sound of gunshots ringing out like thunder. The super soldiers moved with incredible speed, flanking the enemy and pushing them back. It was a fierce fight, and Sarah felt the weight of her responsibility as she fought alongside her comrades. But just as the humans began to gain ground, Thrax unleashed his secret weapon, a massive warship hovering above them, armed with powerful lasers. The ship fired down, and explosions erupted around the soldiers, sending debris flying. "Fall back!" Alex yelled as he grabbed Sarah and pulled her to safety. They ducked behind a barricade, their hearts racing. "We can't let that ship take us down!" Sarah's mind raced. They needed a plan. "If we can distract the ship, we might be able to take it out," she suggested. "We can use the explosives we set earlier." Alex nodded. "I'll lead a team to draw its fire. You take the others and hit the weak point on the ship's side." Without wasting time, they quickly formed a plan. Alex and a group of super soldiers would create a diversion, drawing the ship's attention. Sarah gathered her remaining soldiers and prepared to make their move. As Alex and his team charged toward the warship, they fired their weapons, creating a dazzling display of explosions and sparks. The ship turned its cannons toward them, blasting powerful beams of energy that lit up the darkening sky. "Now's our chance!" Sarah shouted, leading her team toward the ship's side. They sprinted, ducking behind cover to avoid the lasers. When they reached the ship, they quickly planted explosives on the weak points. But the Empire soldiers were relentless. They pushed forward, trying to stop Sarah and her team. The fight was fierce, and the air was filled with gunfire and shouts. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she fought with everything she had. Finally, Sarah and her team finished planting the explosives. "Get back!" she yelled as they rushed away from the ship. With a deep breath, she triggered the detonator. The explosion shook the ground, and the warship erupted in a blinding flash of light. The shockwave knocked everyone off their feet. Sarah shielded her eyes as the ship crumbled, debris raining down around them. The Empire soldiers were thrown into chaos, their ranks breaking as they realized their most powerful weapon was destroyed. "Now! Push forward!" Alex shouted, rallying the troops. The humans seized the moment, charging into the heart of the remaining Empire forces. With their morale boosted, they fought with renewed strength. The battlefield erupted into chaos as the humans pushed back against the Empire soldiers. One by one, the Empire troops began to retreat. Sarah felt a surge of hope as they fought back harder than ever. As the last rays of sunlight faded, the humans stood victorious, having pushed the Empire back. The day was theirs, but the battle had taken its toll. Sarah looked around at her comrades, proud of their bravery, but mourning those they had lost. They had fought against the odds and won, but the war was far from over. The Empire would not give up easily, and Sarah knew they needed to prepare for what came next. The humans had awakened a force they never knew they had, and they were ready to fight for their home once more. The battlefield was silent. After days of fierce fighting, the humans finally had their moment of victory. The Empire's forces, once so confident and powerful, were now in retreat. Sarah Mitchell looked around, seeing her fellow soldiers catching their breath, their faces marked with dirt and exhaustion. But there was something else. Relief and triumph glimmered in their eyes. As the last echoes of battle faded, Sarah felt a wave of emotion wash over her. They had faced impossible odds and emerged stronger. Captain Alex Kane approached her, a grin spreading across his face. "We did it! We actually did it!" he exclaimed, pumping his fist into the air. Sarah couldn't help but smile back. "We fought for our home and we won, but we need to stay alert. The Empire won't give up easily." The remnants of the Empire's forces were retreating, their ships vanishing into the distance. Commander Thrax's flagship was nowhere to be seen, and Sarah knew he was planning his next move. She could sense that this battle was just one part of a much larger war. "Let's regroup and assess the situation," Alex suggested. "We need to figure out what comes next." The soldiers gathered, sharing stories of bravery and loss. They remembered their fallen comrades and honored their sacrifices. Sarah stood tall as she addressed the group. "Today, we showed the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. We fought for each other, and we will continue to fight for our future." As night fell, the soldiers lit bonfires, creating a warm glow against the dark sky. They shared food and laughter, letting the weight of the battle lift, if only for a moment. Sarah joined in, feeling a sense of unity with her fellow soldiers. They had become more than just comrades, they were family. The atmosphere was filled with hope and celebration. But Sarah's mind drifted to the future. They had achieved a significant victory, but the Empire would not stop their pursuit. They needed to prepare for the next phase of the fight. In the distance, a familiar face approached. It was Dr. Emily Chen, the scientist who had helped awaken the super soldiers. "Sarah! Alex!" she called out, excitement lighting her features. I have incredible news. We've received transmissions from other human colonies. They're inspired by our victory and want to join the fight. Sarah's heart raced. That's amazing. We need all the help we can get. If we unite, we can stand strong against the Empire. Alex nodded. Let's reach out to them. We can't let the Empire take advantage of our weakened state. The soldiers quickly gathered to plan their next move. They sent messages to the colonies asking for support and assistance. Every human across the galaxy needed to know they were part of something greater. They were no longer just fighting for New Terra, they were fighting for humanity itself. As dawn broke, the first rays of sunlight illuminated the battlefield. It was a new day, a new beginning. Sarah stood on a hill, gazing out at the horizon. She felt a sense of purpose swelling within her. The Empire might be powerful, but they had awakened something in humanity, a determination to survive and fight back. With renewed strength, Sarah rallied her troops. We will prepare for what comes next. We must train, strategize, and unite with our fellow humans. The Empire will not stop until they have crushed us. But together we will rise and show them the true power of humanity. Cheers erupted among the soldiers, their spirits lifting. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With every victory, they grew stronger, and with every setback, they learned. In the days that followed, the humans trained hard, honing their skills and improving their tactics. They fortified their defenses, readying themselves for the inevitable return of the Empire. But they did so with hope in their hearts, knowing that they were not alone. As news spread across the galaxy, more and more humans joined the fight. They shared stories of bravery and resistance, igniting a flame of hope in every corner of the universe. The Empire may have thought they could destroy humanity, but they had only awakened a force that was unstoppable. Together they would fight, not just for their home, but for the future of all humanity. The Empire had provoked the wrong species, and now they would pay the price. United as one, the humans were ready to face whatever came next, knowing they would stand strong together.